welcome to day 26 of Turn Back Time. I'm Sarah Ewan. Well, today was the first day that I woke up to absolutely no change in my body. No weight lost, no measurements diminished. It's not a bad place to lodge with a waist of 31, hips just above 38 and chest just below 37. But it's the first time it's happened and it brought me up short. I've become entitled. But again, just like when the weight loss stopped before, it made me reassess what I've been doing, how I've been living. The past few days have been really busy and I've been totally sedentary for 2 days, sitting in a chair while treating clients or sitting in a chair editing podcasts. I had worked 8 a.m. to 2 a.m., but that's also the problem. Not enough good sleep again. I also noticed I felt so tired, even though I was drinking far more than the quotient of water and not doing anything exercise-wise. So my intake of food was perfect, certainly no toxins, and my intake of water was in excess, but I didn't lose anything. So sleep and exercise, or at least movement, hugely matters. I was basically tired from sitting still. I needed to shake something up. I'd stuck to 11 blocks as my size and weight demands, but I was eating as if I was exercising. Even a fast walk would have done. So maybe my body was in excess. Maybe, if I have a few sedentary days, I need to lower food intake. Although, of course, that's not the way I should be thinking at all. Don't be sedentary is the moral of the story. Promote some movement. I never had a problem with weight at all when I was running around a busy newsroom 12 hours a day. I was a right skinny mini then. So I need to replace that. I went back to Leslie Sansone's exercise videos and did a 2-mile walk, jog, lower and upper body exercise. If you don't fancy that, and you're crazy busy like me, search out an app that you do enjoy. Maybe a dance app so the music can lift you. Or maybe chair fitness, as I mentioned before. However you can, get that body moving and get the blood pumping for at least half an hour. There might be bits of you that haven't moved for years and are indeed rusty. While I was doing it, I also thought that I'm eating too much cheese and dairy, simply because it's easy. Grab and go. Even though I'm sourcing mozzarella from a farm in Italy and eating organic yogurt with no incomprehensible ingredients, there's always a risk with anything when you can't see it being prepared. And 4 ounces of mozzarella over 100 grams, that is, each day, is probably just too much. I need to vary the protein more. It's not easy, especially if you don't want to eat meat. I truly can't do beef, lamb or pork anymore. It just breaks my heart. I've met too many intelligent cows, pigs and sheep. I know how smart they are. So my options are mostly local free-range chicken. Yes, I've got problems with that too, but I try to ignore it. Wild-caught fish and seafood, or the dairy. So I needed to make the fish and seafood grab and go too. So I cooked a load of salmon with lemon and pepper, and then I made some chili lime prawns, and then I put the whole lot in the fridge instead. So I've got much more choice. I also need to start using the plant proteins and incorporate them into my blocks. Those of you who are vegetarians or vegans are already doing that. But those who are not may not know that quinoa, buckwheat and soy are also complete proteins, just like animal proteins. No need to mix and match. I don't touch soy, but I am going to start making some quinoa and buckwheat recipes, and I'm going to include them in the book. The buckwheat makes great bread. There was a lovely meme on Facebook where someone wrote, "Don't eat anything that you can't pronounce, except quinoa." Eat quinoa. And if you think I haven't pronounced that properly, well, does anyone truly know? Yesterday, I also made some banana and peanut butter muffins, which are perfectly balanced with absolutely no sugar. 2 carbs, 2 fat, and a smidge of protein, so they need balancing as you eat them. So of course they were just sitting there on the kitchen counter. So I had 3 servings of them over the day. While they were absolutely balanced, and old-fashioned oats are very good for you in terms of fibre and vitamins, You really don't want too many of them at a time, especially if you're gluten sensitive. So if you make yourself a treat like that, take one out and then freeze the rest so they're not so easily grabbable. I realised I was also eating too late. Sometimes I'm not making dinner until 10 p.m, when I remember, courtesy of this sudden lack of hunger gene, which kind of negates the 1 block before bed. I guess my body was busy digesting food rather than burning fat all night. So try to eat before 8 p.m. Here in America, people tend to eat at 5 p.m. As a European, I really couldn't get my head around that. But they also go to bed much earlier, so really, they're far more healthy. We now know that cortisol makes you fat on its own. It interferes with the metabolism of glucose and insulin. If you had a blood test in the midst of being really stressed, it would show rocketing blood sugar. So if there's any stress in your life, do everything you can to counter it and get rid of it. It makes you wonder at the huge increase in weight in so many of us since 2020. We didn't all go home and start binge eating like maniacs just because we were allowed to stay there, but we slowed down and we were definitely dealt a daily diet of fear. Even if you didn't worry about getting ill, we had to worry about children and what they were doing, where they were, even adult children. And then, when the vaccine rollout happened, whether you were in favour of getting one or not, you had to worry about what decisions your children were making and your grandchildren. It was a full-on cortisol-inducing fear fest. And I believe we're experiencing the consequences of that now. So do all you can to clear your stress decks too. Make time for you, push back deadlines, eliminate some. I've been shedding my own deadlines all week. Things will just have to wait. I'm busy with this. Tell the people around you who don't treat you well or who ladle all their stress on top of you to just stop it. You're not being selfish. You only have one body. And as we're learning, the environment is as big a factor on your weight as what you eat. If you're not happy with your life, start making plans to change it. And if you do have to, looking your best and feeling your best is not going to cause you any problems, it's not going to hamper you. It's becoming clear to me now that there are so many ways we can sabotage ourselves. We just need to identify them and then eliminate them. So, looking forward to tomorrow. See you then.